Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while. I've been incredibly busy with no time to film, although I've got a whole raft of kind of individual products, not multiple buys from any one collection, that I've been steadily trying out and dying to talk to you about. So I thought I'd begin today talking about the Dior Backstage Pro Eye Reviver palette, which I bought probably about 3 weeks ago, and I have used several times. So I feel I'm kind of in a better place to talk about it a little, because it is yet another neutrals eye palette, and I guess a lot of us are sated with those, but I just liked the look of this one, and although I by no means need any more neutral eyeshadows, and although I've had mixed thoughts about Dior's reformulations of their eye products recently, I haven't really been overall a fan, or as much of a fan of their eye products as I have been in the past. I did decide to give this one a go, and I can say I'm giving it a qualified thumbs up. It's not going to be for everybody, and I think, to be honest, if you're not, passionate about having a whole load of makeup that you don't need, and you have a decent neutral eye palette, you're not going to need this one. But it is a stylish one, and I have found the eyeshadows quite effective. So what is similar and different about this one? I've left the plastic over protector in, as I often do, to protect my shadows, but also this one makes it clear about the different colours, because what you're getting here is what they describe as a base primer, this one here, and then 4 neutral eye shades, and then a gel eyeliner at the end. So now the first point to make is it a good idea to have the gel eyeliner in there mixed with powders? Dior in particular has been quite fond of mixing textures in their palettes. Primarily they often put lipsticks and lip glosses in the same palette as a couple of eyeshadows, and whilst they always look great when you get them, I do have mixed feelings about that, because as we all know, the lipsticks in particular get all gunged up with the powder from the shadows, even though Dior quite frequently put a little guard over the gel. It's not usually an eyeliner. I haven't had one that's an eyeliner before, but usually a lip gloss, as I say. Now, they haven't done that here, apart from this plastic overlay, which I'll take out now. They're all together. So I will say that obviously the eyeliner is in danger of getting gunged up by the powders, although equally I will say that these powders don't give as much fallout as a lot of the previous Dior eyeshadows. They are very silky and not powdery, so that's quite good. And I also think it is quite nice to have the gel eyeliner there, particularly if you're going to use this palette in your handbag for touch-ups on the move, as I have. So although I have kind of mixed feelings about it being there, overall, partly because it's a novel concept for me, I haven't got another palette that conveniently mixes the liner with the shadows, certainly not in a portable form. I'm quite positive about that. And I will say the little brushes that have come with, particularly this one, which is plainly for use with the eyeliner, it's not ideal, but it's not bad, particularly for touch-ups on the go. I have used it, and you can use it. It's perfectly effective. So I quite like that little brush. And then you've got the typical sponge end and angled bristle one, which isn't so great, but again, okay, I guess, for touch-ups on the go. I mean, to be honest, I'd often rather use my fingers for shadow touch-ups. The other unusual concept is the base at this end, the primer. I've never come across a powder primer before, and I was a bit dubious about it. Is it just really a base colour, but not something that's going to prolong the wear on your eyes? Now, I have to say, I think I've said before, I don't generally wear a specifically formulated primer for my powder eyeshadows. I do have one or two, but I very rarely wear them. What I tend to do is use a cream eyeshadow base, either one of the Laura Mercier ones, or the Tom Ford ones, or, I've got a few others, and then I put my powders on top, and that works for me. So this felt a bit counterintuitive, but I have used the powder base, and it does seem to work. Now, I have kind of medium eyelids. They're not particularly dry, but they're not particularly oily, so I'm not sure it's going to work for everyone, but it did for me. And so what I've been doing is using the broad paddle brush, this one's from Zoeva, to use this primer colour over the whole lid and socket and brow area. It just evens out the tone, but doesn't really give any colour at all on my quite fair skin. And then you've got these four neutral shades, cream through to taupe. Where am I going to put them? So here we go with, and you can see it's quite creamy, this cream, coffee kind of cream shade, not giving much colour at all. I'm putting the pouch there because the mirror's so big. Then slightly less smooth, but a deeper kind of, again, neutral taupe. You can see hardly showing there. These are very subtle, but is meant to just make your eyes look more polished and revived rather than giving a great deal of colour. Here's the mid taupe, bit more colour there. The sort of colour I really like, fairly medium toned. And then a darker, cool, which you could smooth out to give a bit more of a smoky look. Although I have to say, it does go out to a kind of taupey grey rather than as dark as that when you, work it out on the eye. And I will say that particular one is not as creamy and as workable as the others. So they're not the most exciting colours. I will say they lasted well on my eyes. They're also mid to cool toned, so nothing warm there if that's your taste. And some people would find the lack of pigmentation, I guess, troubling. I didn't. I just find it quite easy to work with. And as I say, I would be using this palette really for just a conservative, work-appropriate, polished look. So overall, I've enjoyed using it. I find it easy to work with. I find it easy to pop in the handbag to touch up for the evening if I'm going out all day. Nothing that exciting, but something slightly different and very nicely packaged. I've just done that to cut out the flashback, but you can see it's the typical shiny palette, quite attractive with the usual little pouch to go with it. So I hope that's useful if any of you have thought about getting this one. It's that kind of unusual mixture between slightly different, or certainly for me, having that powder primer, I've never come across that before, and having the gel eyeliner in the same palette, but otherwise, fairly run-of-the-mill at the moment when there are so many neutral palettes out there. But if you're in the market for quite an upmarket one, this is definitely one to consider. So I shall speak to you again soon. Bye for now.